This is the Mountaineer Podcast, where everybody's listening. The Mountaineer brings you stories from the peak to peak, in print, and online. Now, listen in to the latest news of the area.
Hello there, everybody. Welcome to Music of the Mountains, Where to Be and What to See, a weekly series brought to you by the Mountaineer Podcast. I'm Jamie Lammers, and this week I'm bringing a very special guest back to the Mountaineer Podcast. Dango Rose recently opened for Red and the Paper Flowers at Ned General on Saturday, May 30th. And I was really excited to be able to talk to him and bring him back on the Mountaineer Podcast. While the show has already passed, I'm still incredibly excited to talk to Dango in this week's episode of Music of the Mountains. Let's cut to that interview now. So, do you mind just introducing yourself real quick?
This is Dango Rose.
And you'll be opening very soon for a show at Ned Gen.
Yeah, my friends Red and the Paper Flowers are coming to town. They're from Knoxville, Tennessee, and they asked me if I wanted to join them for a couple shows, and I said yes. And it would be a wonderful opportunity to play a few songs and to support an amazing band from Tennessee.
Absolutely. How long have you known Red and the Paper Flowers and potentially played with them in the past?
I've known Red and the Paper Flowers, I'd say, really only about 9 months or so. And Red and I just kicked it off really well, just on a few conversations over the phone. It was interesting because their music came across my playlist, and I was like, oh, who is this? This sounds really good. And then that same day, a friend of mine called, a longtime friend, and asked if I could connect with Red for some coaching, band coaching.
Super cool. And so, yeah, what's been happening in terms of your musical world here in Colorado and elsewhere? You know, what's been happening in your corner?
Yeah, so most of my focus has been on education. So I became the assistant professor of songwriting at the University of Colorado, Denver, and the program director of the songwriting program. And that's an incredible program that we're in the works of making one of the top in the country. The students are amazing. So I work on probably over 300 songs a year with the students at the University of Colorado, Denver. And that's been my main focus the past few years, is getting that going up and running in a good way. And now the beauty of it is I get to start focusing on my own songs for the summer. And Elephant Revival, we're about to announce a big show and a couple festival plays this summer. Doing a documentary right now on songwriting and mental health. Put together a nice quartet for that. Had an amazing songwriting session yesterday. And yeah, that's kind of my life. It revolves around songs and songwriting and education and getting back into performance, and gonna get back in the studio here soon. I don't know exactly when, but definitely getting back in the studio soon.
Super awesome. And so, yeah, I mean, what was your background here in the Colorado music scene as well, you know, to build up to everything you're doing now?
Yeah, I'd say 25 years, you know, in Colorado, but so much in Netherlands. I mean, arriving in 2001 and just being fortunate enough to be a part of the culture during that time with the Picks, at the PI, the Acoustic Coffee House, being surrounded by folks, you know, from Yonder Mountain String Band, Leftover Salmon, String Cheese Incident. Speaking of String Cheese, I've been playing with Bill Nershi recently. He sends his regards, and Jillian, his wife, and Lauren, the Nershi family band. It's been really sweet. So Netherlands is home. I miss it dearly, and hope to be able to return one day. Almost went in on a cabin up on Caribou, but I realized the drive down to Denver 5 days a week might be a little much, so had to revamp that plan. But yeah, when I think of a place that feels like home, I mean the Caribou Homestead, which connects to Arapahoe Ranch, that land right there is so meaningful to me. Spread the ashes of my dog, Nico, which some folks out there may remember. Yeah, let's just say I've spread ashes in Netherlands, and the mountains feel like home. But yeah, worked for the paper for many years. Thank you so much to Barb and the Mountaineer for having me be the entertainment journalist for the formative years of Elephant Revival. It was amazing to be able to write articles on the road, you know, to help keep afloat during that time when we were living in the veggie oil school bus. Man. Yeah, we converted a school bus to run on vegetable oil on Caribou Road, thanks to the great engineering mind of Sage Cook, our original banjo player. Those were the days. You know, they talk, Leftover Salmon talks about, or asks the question, when are the good old days? And I don't think you really realize when they are until they're long gone. And then I think at that point you just start creating them again. And so that leads me back to kind of Red and the Paper Flowers. I think they're in the good old days right now. They just did a show over at the Gold Hill General Store. I opened that one as well, and it reminded me of early 2000s Netherlands. And that vibe that I felt at the Gold Hill General Store with Red and the Paper Flowers on May 22nd was the closest thing I have felt to the shows at the Acoustic Coffee House, Pioneer and Stage Stop between 2001 and 2004.
For sure. And what's been great, especially in the last few years, of it being able to focus on songwriting especially and focus on more in that direction?
Yeah, so I've always been writing songs. I mean, I started a little bit late. I think I wrote my first song at 16. So I think for me, it's been more about the comfortability of singing and sharing my songs. When I play the bass, upright bass, I feel it's like riding a bike. I feel so comfortable. Throw me on any stage, I won't get nervous. But there's that vulnerability in sharing songs that is one of the most vulnerable things. And it's amazing what happens. I'm doing this documentary on mental health and songwriting right now. And, I kind of get the yips, which is a sports term for like when a baseball player could no longer throw correctly. So just noticing how I freeze up, there's a lot there, right? There's a lot under the surface. So allowing that to dissolve now in middle age and get out there and actually really put my songs out there. But yeah, Jamie, I've been writing since 1998, and I have a handful of songs in the Elephant Revival catalog. Songs like When I Fall, instrumentals like The Pasture, Jet Lag Blues, Sleep with the Light On, Lexington. Yeah, so I've been writing for a long time, and at this point, just gonna rebrand myself in a different way. I'll probably start releasing music again closer to 2027.
Super awesome. What's been interesting in terms of playing solo compared to like when you jump in playing with Elephant Revival? Is there a really focused difference in those shows for you?
There's a big focus. I think the big difference in focus or feeling in general, because what happens is I notice the stories, the negative self-talk that I have, right? That's personalized to me. And the way I talk to myself or the way I was talked to, and this is the stuff that, I'm currently opening up about in the documentary, but being able to move through those blockages as artists, and it's not just artists, it's athletes, it's politicians, public speakers. I think it happens for people at different ages. A lot of my students, they turn 21 and they think their opportunities have passed them by, or like they're 24. This whole concept of age that I see in Generation Z right now because of, screen culture and TikTok culture, believing that they've failed before they've even begun. It's an interesting thing, I think, in culture right now with the way that we compare ourselves to others because of short attention spans and the quick reels on TikTok and Instagram. And to take that back, to me, that still exists. It was just a different culture and a different time, like a sense of not being good enough before I even begin. And when you do that to yourself in any field, you close the door on creation, manifestation. And in the context of a band, I can keep the door open. The door's open. But when the band and the family system and the structure goes away, there's no shield. And so any story or imprint that I'm creating in my own mind and my own experience that I'm giving to the world, putting out there, will be manifested back to me. So the whole concept or idea of a solo career has been the greatest obstacle to overcome of my own making. So it's really profound. And I'm not looking to be a singer-songwriter with a guitar out there performing for the world. My intention always has just been to share my songs. And that could be in so many different ways. So just taking a gig to support my friends, Red and the Paper Flowers, is one of those ways where it feels like a really good opportunity to show love to one of the greatest bands I think is out there right now, doing this neo-acoustic folk, traditional, original songwriting thing around a single microphone. And I could take one step closer to overcoming the blocks that I've put before me in my own life at the same time. So right there, that's copacetic, and that's also friendship, you know.
For sure. And I mean, is there anything in general with your performances that you kind of hope people take away from the shows and songs when they come to see you?
At this point, I'm just looking to be honest. You know, that's it. And if that comes across in a way that creates an emotion or is moving to someone who hears it, I'm grateful for it. But at this point, this is for me. And because it's for me, it's for others.
Absolutely. And yeah, I don't know, is there just anything else in general about this upcoming show or other performances that you have, or Red and the Paper Flowers, or anything else that you want to talk about?
Thanks, Jamie. You know, I'll just say this. We have an incredible songwriting program at the University of Colorado, Denver. If anybody is wondering what to do next, it's a very special program, and I encourage you to reach out to me if you have any questions. Also, this documentary on songwriting and mental health, right now it's called The Tuned Documentary. My friend Mariel is the director, producer. Elephant Revival, we're going to be announcing a show September 18th. I'll say the date, but I won't say where. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's very exciting. Excited for the announcement. And let's see what else. Oh, yeah, I'm playing in the Nershi Han Trio as well as the Nershi Family Band. So keeping some of those Netherlands roots going. And, yeah, this show coming up at Ned General, May 30th, Red and the Paper Flowers. I'll be coming up. I'm bringing up one of my students. His name's Aiden Carpenter. Goes by the Small Town American, and we're going to be performing a duo set and also solo, and it's going to be an incredible night, so I hope y'all can come out.
I mean, I think those are the big questions that I have on my end.
Thanks, man. I just rambled about a whole bunch of stuff. So.
Oh, you are totally fine. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk about all of that.
Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate the Mountaineer. Barb is just an amazing person, and her commitment to the paper and the community is really awe-inspiring, and the support she's shown me over the years, I don't take it lightly. It means the world to me. And also Doug Armitage over at Brightwood Music. These two people care so much about Netherlands and everything they've been through. All the love in the world to Barb and Doug, the Mountaineer, and the town of Netherlands. And I look forward to coming back home on Saturday.
Sweet. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Dango, for coming on board and catching up with us on your recent musical endeavors. To continue following his musical endeavors, be sure to head to dangorose.com. If you want to learn more about Red and the Paper Flowers, I had the incredible honor of interviewing the band back in October of 2024. You can check out the column and podcast episode based around Red and the Paper Flowers, and check out their music and follow their endeavors at redandthepaperflowers.com. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in this week to Music of the Mountains, Where to Be and What to See, brought to you by the Mountaineer Podcast. I'll be back next week with the next episode. In the meantime, be sure to subscribe to this podcast wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Podchaser, and the works. And be sure to share this episode and others around with whoever you see fit. If you want to subscribe to the physical or digital edition of the Mountaineer newspaper, then be sure to head to our website at the mtnear.com and click on the subscribe button in the top right corner of our homepage. You can also find our archive of all of our podcast episodes by heading to the Mountaineer Media section of our homepage. There you'll also find our Facebook, our Instagram at mtn.ear, and our YouTube channel. Finally, if you have any questions or suggestions for the podcast or the paper, be sure to reach out to myself at media@themountaineer.com, my co-host Tyler Hickman at tyler@themountaineer.com, our editor-in-chief Barbara Hardt at info@themountaineer.com, and general inquiries at frontdesk@themountaineer.com. We'll see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day.
for gold. Down below, where the meadow's open, wind-torn cabin in Aspen Grove.
The song that you are currently listening to is called Caribou Mountain, written and performed by Dango Rose and included on his 2021 EP Banjo Poems, which you can find along with his other releases wherever you get your music. Be sure to keep up with his musical endeavors by heading to his website, dangorose.com.
Only thing that remains open is the hole in the mountain where the miners stood. And John still looking for gold. And John still looking for gold. Way up on Caribou Mountain, highest cabin here to Washington, where the wind whips heavy on every hillside. Loneliness rips through the soul. Moonshine still in a rundown cabin.
Got a ride from the city back to my hometown. Everything seemed different but the same, I can't tell if anything's changed or just the inside of my head. I can't find out tonight, I'll just keep drinking instead.